Eyes down for the morning, folks. Tuesday, the 27th of February, and I've just uncovered this lathe. Oh dear, oh dear. Mind you, I've laid off since November. It was the 13th of November, so to say that, there isn't that much on it, and it's only odd bits where there's been no oil, like there, but it rubs off quickly. So I'm going to give this a quick clean, and then I'm going to crack on cleaning the bench down. I shall continue with these, the Colchester parts. They're the Colchester parts I have for sale. They're off a Mark 1 roundhead, but it's a metric apparently, and it's also a gap bed. So that's the main thing that makes the difference. That's the steady rest. That is the travelling steady for the gap bed model. It won't fit the fixed head model. It fits in the T-slot. Right. What a bloody mess. Right. Here we go. Tidy up. I am feeling much, much better. 1.5 stone lighter. And far less diabetic than I was. But there you go. I was going to go to Keith's today, but the weather's atrocious. It's cold, it's wet, so there's no point in trying to do anything outside. So what I'm going to do today is start off, as usual, with a damn good tidy up, because we are in a bit of a mess. I've got these to paint black as well. That's something that could get done today if I get around to it. But they're all to black, and once they're blacked, they can go on. So there you go. Right, off I go. Bye now. Good evening, folks. It's the 20th of February, and I'm almost getting back to it. I've been to Langtoft today, done a few little jobs, but what have we here? Here we have a long ago started computer monitor, which had a dodgy blown up rectifier in it and a blown fuse. That's the fuse. That's the fuses, and that's the rectifier in there. I had to get some little mini drills just to drill the holes out where the rectifier fits, because guess what, I've run out of solder bead. Not solder bead, solder removal tape. But I've ordered some more. So that fits. We've already got the new fuse in. I've got it to solder up tomorrow. So that's a little job I'm getting on with. Tomorrow I'm at home tidying up and putting pictures up, but I've been to Keith's today as well, and we spent an hour in the field. So I'm beginning to start work again, and soon I hope to have a video for you. So I've finished this for tonight. I've drilled those holes out with some tiny little drills and a very nice little Eclipse long-handled pin chuck, which just did the job perfectly, which my brother just got in among a load of stuff that came with his new Boxford VSL lathe that we went to Hull yesterday to pick up. So there you go. Things are happening. We're all having fun. So I'm going to add this to some footage I took over Christmas, and I'm going to put it up this week. There's also another dad and daughter talk coming, which will be on conspiracy theories, and I'll see you all later. Bye now. Yes, folks, it's the monitor that I put the new rectifier and the new fuse in, and there it goes away again. This is probably one of the first board level electronic repairs I've ever done where I've actually diagnosed the fault, removed the component, refitted a new component, and put it all back together, and it works. Mind you, I've not done any that didn't work. It's just that I'm rather pleased that this one does. So that's it. I've got a spare monitor that I can use to test several computers that I've got hanging around the place that are going to get sorted out. Right, there we go. I'll get on with some more tidying up. I've not done bad. I've got all the rust off this lathe. Well, nearly all the rust off this lathe. I just spotted another bit there, look. But yeah, she's back to good again. So it didn't take long. And this is back to better. Right, laters. And there it is, folks, the witching hour. You can hardly see that because I've already turned the lights off. But it's all in black, both sides. Right, those two little knobs on top there will need touching up, but other than that, all done. So that's the job done. That's the bench more or less tidied down. I'm really glad to report that that monitor is now working again, because that gives me a spare test monitor. And all the rust's off. So, I won't see you tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm at Hull Royal with Catherine. She's got to go for physio at Hull Royal. So, and then on Friday, unfortunately, I have to attend the funeral of a very good friend of mine, who is no longer with us, for reasons known unto himself. But there you go. So, I might get Thursday in. I'll let you know if I do, and I'll shoot some more footage. I am gradually getting myself back into the way of making videos. So, I hope you've waited, and I hope you're not all too upset that I quit. See you on Thursday with any luck. Bye now. Good lunchtime, folks. I've been here all morning. I've got Prime Minister's questions on the radio, come computer, and I've started more assembly, which has to be done in strict order. But we're getting there. I'm getting the top slide on, or the compound slide if you like, and I've been round my black bits, and my black bits are looking really good. I've had to touch that bit up because I've only painted one side of it, but the rest of it is spot on. So they're going to get another day or so to harden off, because they're not hard yet. But they've tacked off because it's oil-based paint. It's not cellulose. It's machine enamel. So there you go. Right. So I am on with now the top slide, and I've just tried to order some 2BA by 1 inch long Allen screws, and this time my little tin of grub screws has not come up trumps. They're a bit of an oddball, and I've got one missing from there, and I believe I have, no, I've got a full complement there, and they're different. They're the crosshead screw. They're different, but I've got a full complement for that, so I've got one missing. Of course, I don't really fancy paying 10 quid for 10. Bit expensive, but I might have to. There you go. So if anybody's got a 2BA by 1 inch Allen grub screw, I'd love one. Right then, onward. And it was all going so well. Yes, we have a problem. It's a problem I partially expected. We have, of course, on the compound slide, this is the thread. Right, the thread appears to be in good condition. It appears from what I can see that it is 1/2 inch 10 TPI Acme thread, because I can, using my viewing lens, I can see the shoulders on it, but bloody lost it now. Where have I put it? I've put it down somewhere. There. When I got the lathe, there was a steel pin. I'll just show you how this works. That drops into that hole there, right? And then the thread goes in, it all bolts together and it works beautifully. The problem is, when I got this lathe, there was a steel pin inserted into there, and this nut fitted over it, right, rather badly. Now, I could put that back together as it was, but I'm not of a mind to. The problem is, I've made a bronze pin, and I soldered it into there, and of course, if you look at the thickness, and then you imagine the thickness of the thread, you can probably see that there's not very much metal left there to solder to. And every time I try and set it up, it cracks. Well, I've just resoldered it, let the solder run right through into the thread, and then just pop the solder out the thread. I put some grease on the thread so that it wouldn't stick, and it didn't. But what I'm looking at now, I think, is making a new nut. And I haven't a piece of bronze that's quite big enough. But that's not a problem. And as I say, I think it's half inch by 10. It's definitely 10 TPI, and I think from the thread form it's Acme. I've got that lump, but I'm pretty sure that's just brass. But I don't think it'll come out of there anyway. No, it won't really. I could get part of it out of there, but I'd have to cut that short. So no, that's no good. And I think that's just an old lump of brass drift anyway. What I could do, of course, is use my furnace to melt some down and cast it, which could be a good idea. I shall look into it. Anyway, that's brought me to a blooming grinding halt, which is a pain, because it was going so well. I can't put any of that on because it's still just a little too soft to assemble. So I'm looking at perhaps there isn't anything else to do, are there? It's actually heading on dramatically towards being completed. Oh, I don't think I've put that together. I think I was working on that when I keeled over and decided I was sick of it all and I was going to go home and bail. That's a set of feeler gauges. So I might leave this. I might leave that and go on to that, which is the threading stop mechanism that knocks the lead screw out of gear when you're threading, so you can thread up to a shoulder. Very clever, very, very advanced for its age. But this lathe was a copy of an American lathe, the Cataract, which Mr. Holbrook seems to have copied very accurately. Right, off we go, back into the problem world. Bye now. Right folks, well I've got it all on and it's all working. Whoops, sorry about that, making you feel seasick. So I need to make a new nut, but I'm going to get it all put together as much as I can and then work out what I need. So I'm obviously going to need a lump of bronze and a tap, and that should do it. That should fix that. I have a feeling that this lathe has at some time in its life been quite heavily damaged and repaired. This is new. This is milled out of steel, as is that. This is original. This looks original. This I think is almost certainly original, but has been altered. Right, I haven't got that quite set right yet. That should go right round, I think. Maybe not, who knows. It seems to work anyway. That's for pulling the, that's just for pulling the tool back when you're threading. So that's in, So instead of winding it back one full revolution, going back to the start, going back one full revolution and then adding your cut, all you do is bend that like that and then put it back in, right? Same on the cataract, same on several other lathes as well actually, but clever, nice, working well. But I need to fix that nut. And I don't know, I think if I mill the seat of the nut a bit deeper, then there's a damn good chance that it will, I can make that mating piece thicker, only very slightly, just so that it's got more meat on it, because there isn't enough meat on that. But as I say, the pin, the steel pin into the bronze bush was bloody hopeless. It just had so much slop on it. There's no slop on it now, but it's not strong enough to last, but it's going back together. Now here's the tool post, and I've got the classic, this tool post is also not original. It's been made, it's had Allen screws put into it. They haven't turned the bottoms down, and so where they haven't turned the bottoms down, they're now all flattened over where they've been tightened onto a tool. So what I'm going to have to do is cut the ends off these Allen screws, or at least grind them sufficiently to be able to turn some of the thread off when I get them out, because at the moment they won't come out. All that needs cleaning up. It might even need machining flat, I don't know. I'm not quite happy with that either. There's something going on there. As you noticed, I don't know whether there was an indexing on this tool post, but there isn't indexing on here now, so there you go. I did mill that. I milled the sides of that because that was a rather bad fit. Milled the sides and the front for a better fit, and that's actually, I've had that on a sheet of glass, and that's actually pretty flat, but that bit I don't know about. But the first thing to do is to get the Allen screws out and clean it up. So that's what I'm going to do next. Or I might have a go at that threading gearbox. I'll just check that threading gearbox and make sure that I have actually connected up and finished it. I don't remember finishing it, and I might not have done, so there you go. Let's do that. Afternoon, folks, and I mean afternoon. It's Thursday. It's gone 2 o'clock. Because when I got up this morning, my dear lady wife reminded me that she had an osteopath's appointment that I'd forgotten about. So that was 2 o'clock. So I've just bolted through here to talk about my ruminations of last night. Here we are. I've looked at the Holbrook IO users page, and I've also sent an email to my mate John Burke, who is the world-renowned expert on these lathes, and I've also looked at his pictures, and his pictures have answered the questions that I asked him. I should have gone there first and not bothered him, but there you go. Right, this part here is not original to the lathe. This part is. Right, when this has been made, or this has been made, this bit is original, or seems to be. When this bit has been made, this has been mounted too low. Right, somehow this perhaps should have been less deep, that should have been higher up, which would have put the thread nearer the top of this piece of metal. Now what they've done to compensate for that is they've turned some metal off the bottom of the nut that this thread goes into, thus lowering the nut and making it line up with the thread. Unfortunately, when they've done that, they've made the nut so thin that the pin has actually broken off. And I'm thinking that the best way to solve this is either to make a new nut, or at least to repair the nut with a slightly thicker plate with a pin on it, already turned on it, soldered to the bottom of the existing nut, which still means that I'm going to have to machine the slot in this where the nut beds slightly deeper, right? in order that it lines up with the centre of the screw thread. Right? It's been baffling me for ages as this, because these lathes are generally very, very, very well made, and it just didn't make sense that they would leave that metal so thin. And the answer is, of course, they haven't. Somebody's made a slight cock up when they've been making this, beautifully made though it is, and they've compensated for it by machining a bit off the bottom of the nut, instead of deepening the slot to move the nut down a little bit, because the nut is free to move up and down. Right, it drops into about a 3/8 inch hole, I think. The pin on the bottom of the nut drops into a 3/8 inch hole, and of course the nut and pin are integral. They're all made in one piece of bronze. You see this piece, I don't think this piece is original either. I think this has been made up, because if you look at the original one, or at least it's been repaired, because the original one doesn't have this whacking great brace here. Right, but there you go. Anyway, everything seems to be working rather well now. This is working well. This is working well. I've got the a start-up clean on the non-original tool post. Of course, I can't understand what's happened here, because they obviously haven't machined a T-slot in it, because the T-slot would have gone down below that level. Right? And they've attached a piece of plate to the top. Perhaps the idea is that you can take this off and you can put something else on there. There are other bits and pieces that came with this lathe. Maybe that's where the milling slide fits, because there is a sort of rudimentary milling slide. Maybe you take that off and that's where the milling slide fits. See, that's just come to me now. I couldn't understand why that piece of plate was on there, and why they hadn't either made it solid with a thread in it or with a T-slot in it as original. Although apparently the T-slots did used to break quite often. But that may be where the vertical milling slide goes. There you go. Anyway, that's the position we're in at the moment. And that's it for this week, for my first week back. So, thank you all for watching. Send me likes, send me comments, send me anything you like. Money will do. I'd love money. Send me money. And I'll see you all next week, when I hope to get a fuller week in, and hope to be in a better frame of mind, because I'm not here tomorrow. I'm at an old friend's funeral, so I shall be glad when tomorrow's over. See you all later. Bye now. Hello folks. It's me. At the workshop. It's Friday, the 21st of December. And I'm just clearing room to get the tractor in. Because the weather ain't going to get no better until about March or April time. So I'm going to get the tractor in should it snow. Right, of course, but first of all I've got to go up to the field and make sure that the tractor will start. But I've also allowed for the fact that, he said, kicking a motor to one side, that Keith might not be in. And I may have to do it tomorrow, but it doesn't matter. Right, if I do it tomorrow, it will be done. So, what have I got? Well, first of all, I got a very nice package from Machine Nut Dell, sending me some beautiful 5C collets that he says he'll never use. So what did I do? I rushed straight out onto the internet and I bought myself a collet stand. Made in China, very nice. I could have made one, but I couldn't face punching all these bloody holes because I've nothing to punch them with. In actual fact, I have got an arbor press that might have done that. Should I have made it? Yeah, that would be a nice thing to do, to turn up a couple of punches and just see if it would punch. See how thick metal I can punch with it. Good idea. There's a project for next year. Anyway, I've got all these collets and a load more collets, and the first thing I have to do, because this came without nuts and bolts, believe it or not, Right? I don't know whether it was supposed to, but it was the last one the chap had, so there you go. But it was only cheap. So I've got that to put together and all the collets to put into it, because I have also other collets. So I shall show you that. The main reason for my visit here is to get the tractor indoors and to collect some firewood for over the Christmas period. This is what I was doing. On the Friday, before I had my strange, very high blood pressure incident on the Saturday and Sunday, and my visit to hospital on the Monday, you'll all be pleased to know, oh, I hope you're pleased to know, that I'm very much better. And I have since been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, but very mild type 2 diabetes, and I think I've already seen that off because I've been dieting like mad and I've lost just over a stone. Or even maybe 13 and a quarter stone actually. So there you go. So my blood sugar's back to normal, my blood pressure's back to normal, although that's probably thanks to a lot of drugs. And thank you all to the people who expressed an interest in my health and said get well soon, Phil, because it was very, very supportive and very, very thankful. It cheered me up a lot, because as you can imagine, you know, when you get to this end of life and you have something like that happen completely out of the blue, I must say, it shocks you a bit, but I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling better than I've felt for years, to be honest. It's a bit of a grey day, as good old Larry Grayson used to say, and I'm not going to go on to say it's been a queer year, but it's been good. I've got lots done. Oh look, you can see the shed. You can see the shed up there through the trees because all the leaves are off. Yeah, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to put this together, put the collets in it, and then I'm going to nip up to Keith, see if he's there. And if he's there, we'll see if the tractor will start, and if the tractor will start, we'll see if we can get the cars moved away from the gate, and if we can get the cars moved away from the gate, I'll bring it down and park it up in here. Then it's out of the weather. Right, I'll bring you back when I've done some more. Bye now. And there we are, folks. Courtesy of some little 6mm button head Allen screws, I think. Yeah, button head, aren't they? I think they're button head. And there's the collets that Dell sent me. Right? Now, if any of you don't know who Dell is Machine Nut Dell. And he's a very amusing and very well equipped channel who does all sorts, from metal turning to resin turning to art projects to what he's working on at the moment is the robot from is it Fireball XL5? I think it's Fireball XL5, the old Jerry Anderson cartoon, right? Puppet cartoon. He's working on making one of those at the moment. So it's a very interesting channel and well worth a watch. So if you get a chance, get yourselves over to Machine Nut Dell and give him a watch and subscribe, because he's well worth it. Right? And Dell, thank you very much for those. That's really a really nice gift. I'm going to sort out those ones for you in a minute. Although I must admit, after your last purchase of those International 40 tapers in a big box of all sorts, I think mine, the ones I have, might be a bit superfluous, but I'll dig them out and show you them anyway. Right, I've also got another selection of collets that I bought earlier, right, which I'm now going to arrange in this wonderful tray, so I'll bring you back when I've done it. So here we are, folks. Langtoft. Friday. Beautiful sunshine on a rather cold day. And we're up in what's going to be the chicken field, clearing the wood that Keith has managed to clear from the all the buddleia growing in the middle. So we're about to have a bonfire. Beautiful day, but chilly. Bye now. There it is, folks. Gasp, gasp. It's been exactly an hour and a half and I'm knackered. Talk about out of condition. Time was when I would have heaped that up with one hand. Right, it was a lot of years ago though. Right, we're going for a coffee. Bye now. We have ignition. Watch it all fall over and roll all over the place, set fire to everything. Oh, it's blazing, Keith. It's blazing away on the thin ice of a new day. Oh, it's just come over really overcast as well, and it's sort of raining in the wind, so it's still, even though it's sort of nice over there, it's still February and it's still cold. Bye now. Ah, lovely and warm. Frying tonight with a small application of immolation juice in the form of some stale cod liver oil, or at least what purports to be cod liver oil but is actually mainly soya oil. It's going. It's going. Maybe the timber was a bit damp, but it's certainly got hold of it now. Whoops. I'm falling over exhausted. I'm really knackered. I've done 2 hours. And normally I'd do at least 6, maybe more. So I'm still not 100%. Okay, bye. The end of day 1. I'm utterly knackered. I've done about 2.5 hours work. The huge pile of tut has gone and we've got a bit of a tidy up. We'll do more next week, but not Monday because I'm at Castle Hill. Bye now.